Previously on Samurai Jack.
I want that Mulan McNugget sauce, Morty. That's my series arc, Morty.
hell?
If it takes 9 seasons, I want my McNugget dipping sauce, Szechuan sauce.
No, not that! The samurai, wounded from battle, hides in a cave, where he fights his feverish visions. Through the unexpected kindness of a wild wolf, Jack heals in time, while reflecting on his past. He steels himself for battle after accepting what must be done. Jack must live and fight. Eventually, the Daughters of Aku find him, but are slaughtered in an intense battle with the samurai. Some, including Ashi, are thrown off of a cliff into the snow below. Fortune does not smile on Jack for long, though, as his support gives way, making him fall off the cliff as well. We start 95 sometime after Jack fell. The samurai wakes up, alive and well, in spite of his fall. He surveys his surroundings, only to find a trail of blood. He finds the final assassin, Ashi, lying on the ground. The crows call out at him, their cries blending together to form one word: murder. Jack denies the crime, stating that the assassins chose their path. The crows do not respond, but someone else does. It seems Ashi is more durable than her sisters, as she has somehow survived her fall, and now lashes out at Jack with her chain. Jack counters her attacks, eventually wrapping her up with her own weapon and hanging her on a tree. As she sways on the branch, she once more cries out that the samurai scum will die, and that Aku's glorious land shall be saved. Jack comments that Ashi is troubled and confused. Neither of them have time to focus on this, however, as an immense creature burrows out from the earth and swallows the two whole. Inside the creature, Ashi giggles in malicious triumph. She proclaims to Aku that the samurai is dead, like a cultist praying to her god. Jack points out that he is still very much alive, only to be met with more pessimistic rebuttals. "We've been swallowed by this beast. You are dead." "As are you," Jack replies. The conversation is cut short as strange creatures made of legs and teeth charge at the two warriors. Jack dodges their attacks until he discovers just how sharp the tendrils on their underbellies are, as one creature slices another apart in the confusion of battle. Using this to his advantage, he claims one of these severed limbs as a makeshift sword, massacring the beasts. Meanwhile, Ashi tries to get the upper hand on Jack, attempting to beat him into submission in spite of her temporary handicap. She fails as Jack inevitably finishes off the monsters at the cost of his new weapon. Rather than leave her to die, Jack uses the chains to strap Ashi to his back, much to her adamant protests, and sets off to find an escape from the intestines of the beast who swallowed them. Throughout their journey in the intricate, if not confusing, anatomy of this massive creature, Ashi constantly taunts the samurai for his persistence, going so far as to pray to the glorious Aku to strike down what she believes to be the defiler of his glorious land. Eventually, Jack snaps at her, trying to make her see the reality of this world. Aku is undoubtedly the evil one, and would gladly drown this world in chaos. "Look where you are! Where do you think this monster came from? If you would just open your eyes, you would see the truth." Ashi responds with one cold word: die. After being forced to defend themselves from more beasts who were undoubtedly swallowed just like the two warriors, Jack trudges forward with Ashi, who tries her hardest to find a way to kill her annoying target. Jack could just leave her to be either digested or killed, but he persistently saves her time and time again, much to the disbelief of the now very snarky inner Jack and other hallucinations. Jack believes Ashi to be misguided, and only requires some form of reasoning to make her see the truth. The two warriors reach a dark, cavernous portion of the beast, where strange, luminous creatures, very similar to sea life, glide through the air in their strange ways. Ashi is in awe of the creatures, as Jack states that even amongst all of Aku's destruction, beauty can still be found. It is then that Jack notices two things. Up above is a large, pulsating opening leading to freedom, while down below waits a pit of vile green acid, ready to consume anything that falls into it. The solution seems simple initially. Use the flying creatures to escape, and not fall into the acid. But, as we all know by now, nothing in this world is that easy. In the darkness, 6 green eyes scan the two as they ascend, and a toothy jaw reaches out to snatch them from the air. Jack dodges the hunter, forced to alter his plan and find a new creature to take him through the gap. The hunter pursues them through the darkness, the light from the hole revealing a translucent body with the black skeleton of a massive, carnivorous fish. Jack pilots an assortment of creatures before he uses a jellyfish-esque creature to slowly rise to the gap. The creature shivers as the hunter pursues them, causing them to slow down, and eventually explode. In an act of desperation, Jack rides the explosion of his creature, throwing him out through the opening before it closes again. Jack and Ashi have finally escaped. The two warriors find themselves in the middle of the ocean, with only a scrap of land to provide them a place to rest. As Jack sits on the shore, Ashi realizes she is no longer chained to Jack. The explosion destroyed the chain, but left the once attached blade intact. As she silently prepares to finally kill her tired target, something passes by her face. It is a ladybug, flying amongst its kind, who inhabit the small island. As a look of shock appears on her face, we flash back to Ashi's training as a child, when the young assassin saw this kind of insect for the first time. Her mother berated her for focusing on the insignificant distractions of the outside world rather than her mission. They are not part of Aku's order, she sternly said, as she crushed the insect between her fingers. As those words echo in Ashi's mind, the present-day ladybug flies to rest on Jack's outstretched hand. As the samurai allows the insect to live and fly away, Ashi drops her blade and silently sits down on the center of the island. For the first time in her life, Ashi questions just what Aku's order truly is. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, I absolutely adore this episode. While I was initially opposed to the idea of Ashi and Jack possibly becoming a team, this episode managed to convince me that the idea would not be a bad one. The chemistry between the anger-driven Ashi and the ever-resilient Jack was actually kind of fun to watch. Watching Jack try to fight whatever programming Ashi had gone through during her training to convince her that he is the good guy left me rolling, as Ashi just kept trying to find new ways to insult our hero, until she finally finds a legit reason to question herself. Now that the idea of Jack not being a destroyer of innocent life has been planted in Ashi's mind, perhaps she will eventually accept that what she has been taught was all a lie, and maybe help Jack get back to the past in future episodes. But we'll have to wait and see in the next episode of Samurai Jack, which will hopefully be airing this upcoming Saturday at 11 p.m. I'm looking at you, Rick and Morty. In the meantime, though, never stop rambling. This has been Rambles and Mumbles of a Nerd, and I thank you very much for watching this episode.
I want that Mulan McNugget sauce, Morty!